Behind me is a tour bus which takes you around and about so you can see some fishing villages and sample some of the local life around Isafjordur. I'm glad you've joined us because there's more here than you might think. This is where you get your maps. Mission accomplished, I'm going to explore. I think this will be quite easy to navigate, it's quite small. Because this port can only support 2 ships, the 3rd ship has to tender. So the 3rd ship's obviously the Norwegian Star. If you want to do a spot of whale watching, here's where you get your tour. Many people love to see the fjords in a kayak, and there's certainly the opportunity to do that here. If you're looking for the microbrewery, look for the kegs. I think that might be a clue. Found the museum.
I think it's difficult with a stick to just take a finger from it. One piece, that should be fine.
The fish that people are tasting is dried haddock, and they've got some schnapps to help it down. If you've been to the little houses in Stavanger or even Shetland, you'll notice a similar living history, all dependent on the sea. This takes me back, a bit of old Matthias Rosa. The West Fjords Heritage Museum is definitely worth a visit. There's a stunning collection of old piano accordions up there and a maritime exhibition of all the old ships. This part is the maritime history. I wonder what's up here. You have to be really careful. Oh, a lovely view. It's like a spy cabin. I suppose you look out for boats. If you don't fancy heading straight up into the centre of town, there's a nice short walk along the edge of the fiord and you end up at the other end of the town. There's hardly anybody does it. They all go in straight away into the middle. The churches here are very simple, a massive contrast to the great big church in Reykjavik. So this is a fishing village and there is a sculpture of two fishermen in the centre of the green. I'd love to tell you more about it, but unfortunately I don't speak Icelandic and they haven't put an English translation. They've caught a lot of fish. The very pretty building behind me was once a hospital. It was opened in 1925 and then later on, after some refurbishment in 2003, it was opened as the Culture Museum, and it's got a library, some photos and art collection, as well as other cultural items. We're quite early, so it's closed at the moment, but it opens at midday and 1 o'clock at weekends. Nothing is very far from the ship. If you were worried because they turned the old hospital into a cultural museum and art gallery, this is the new hospital. This is another statue by Einar Johnson, and you can find his museum in Reykjavik opposite the church. If you watch our film on Reykjavik, you'll see where it is. Wow. There's the church we walked from, and there are the cruise ships in the horrible rain and mist, and yet you're just warm and cosy. And I'm heading to the bar, which will make me feel even better. Right behind me in the grey building next to the Isafjordur Hotel, there's a local handicraft shop where you can make your own candles. You just choose the scent and mix it with the wax.
Is the oil that we use that's scented, and just use this to kind of, yeah, like this much, something like that, and I'll get it, and then you can put in the scented oil.
Here it comes.
It'll spread. I mean, it's just liquid, so I don't have to like pour it on both sides.
How long does it take to set?
The fridge for like 15 minutes and then 5 minutes in the freezer, and then it should be good to go.
Right.
Yeah.
Heisters is a guide here, and it was her idea to open this candle shop where you can make your own candles, and I'd love to interview her, but she's up in the mountains. But this is her mum. So this is pretty much the town centre. There's some coffee shops, restaurants, if you're hungry, after all your mountain climbing, and the town square. They have a rainbow road through the town square. Just by the ship there are local tours that you can pick up. Whale watching's going out at 1 o'clock today, and also there's a caravan for West Fjord Safari over here. The fjords are very popular with people that love hiking, and they're out in numbers today. You can take any one of these paths up for spectacular views. It's quite hilly, it's quite steep. Oh, who came up with this idea of making travel films? And who is Doris anyway? I'm exhausted. Done my steps today. The town centre is located on a spit of sand and there's only 2,600 people that live there. Behind me it looks like they're mussel beds and the square over on the far side looks like it could be fish farming. Let's go and see what's in this park. Not surprisingly, in the park you find a pair of whale bones. We finished our day in Isafjordur, and if you're ever wondering what these are, they're rat stoppers to stop the rats climbing up onto the ship. We're off for a spot of lunch. The story goes that when Iceland became a Christian country, the head of the country came here and threw his Norse gods over into the waterfall, and that's why the waterfall is called the Waterfall of the Gods. Wow. There's the church we walked from, and there are the cruise ships in the horrible rain and mist, and yet you're just warm and cosy. And I'm heading to the bar, which will make me feel even better.